What's up, team, and welcome to Mettle Memo number 24. Today's topics include the all-or-nothing mindset, effective routines, meals and macros, and training and workouts of the day. The new addition is the YouTube video. So this is recorded and put on a YouTube video. I sometimes add either pictures of my meals and macros or workouts. Otherwise, you could also listen to this on a podcast on Spotify or Apple Music, or I guess wherever you get your podcast from. Lastly, we have 3 program launches I've been talking about. We have the 12-week hybrid athlete training program that has running and lifting. However, if you want to substitute the running for your other forms of cardio that you enjoy, feel free to do so. It's more focused around heart rate and high intensity versus low intensity than it is around running specifically. We also have the 6-week circuit training program, and that has how-to videos, so like YouTube shorts that I specifically show you how to do each exercise. And then the last thing that I've been doing now is strength and aesthetics. So it's a full strength training program. It's 6 days a week, 1 day's mobilities. You have a push-pull legs, full body, and then a cardio section. That is on my Substack. It's $6 a month, so you can get a full month of training for a price of a cup of coffee. I launch it every Sunday night, and you will have that in your inbox so you can prepare yourself for the week ahead. Lastly, we have some housekeeping. So thanks to our sponsors, we have supplements. Transparent Labs. If I were to take one supplement, I would take Vitamin D3 by Transparent Labs. This has immensely helped me with my anxiety, depression, and overall energy levels feeling good. I'm stoked to be partnered with Transparent Labs. They are the most clean ingredients you could possibly get, all third-party tested, and then they show you the tests on the website. So my daily supplements are the 100% grass-fed whey protein. I take the creatine HMB. I like the peach mango flavored. I take lean or bulk pre-workout, depending on what I'm really focused on. I would suggest taking half a scoop to start, but definitely take it if you want the intensity in the gym. Vitamin D3 K2 supplement, multivitamin, and every single morning I take a scoop of hydrate. Next, we have ketones. So many people don't really understand what ketones are. So I'm going to quickly describe it. Ketones are when your body is in ketosis, it produces ketones. And ketones is an energy source different from glycogen that you would use when getting from, let's say, carbohydrates. So it's an alternative energy source. Now, to get into ketosis, you have to not eat carbs for an extended period of time. And frankly, I like carbs. I make sourdough bread, as you know, so I don't prefer to do that. Instead, you can take liquid ketones. You take one shot of it, and it gets you that alternative energy source. So it's not like there is no caffeine in it. There's no sugar in it. It's not like a 5-hour energy or a cup of coffee. You don't feel like that. You just notice that you're not fatigued like ever. So I take it when I'm training. I take it before I'm training, or I actually take it when I have a big meeting ahead. And if the meeting's like 2 hours long or I'm presenting, I take a shot before I go. If you're also looking to lose weight, this curbs your appetite. So this is phenomenal. And if you're feeling drained at like 3 p.m. and need to take a nap and you can't have caffeine or you don't want to because you want to go to bed, ketones is the answer. You'll fall asleep fine. So it's a huge cheat code. You could use the links that I put in the newsletter, and I'm going to have it in the bio here as well. But Transparent Labs ketones completely changed everything for me. All right, let's get into the letter. Lessons learned. All or nothing thinking. The all or nothing mindset shows up consistently in fitness, nutrition, and, well, life. 1. I see others and myself find reasons that they cannot do something because of the amount of time commitment or they always fucked up in one way or another. For example, if you ate one bad meal, you might believe you ruined your diet. Therefore thinking, why even bother trying to eat healthy for the rest of the day? I already ruined it. Or, shit, the gym is closed for renovations. I'll just go home and instead watch some TV. This all or nothing mindset can also hurt you in an alternative way. For example, if you are too perfect with your diet and might find yourself staying in at home and refraining from socializing for fear your diet may get ruined by a dinner at a restaurant. Or I need to wake up at 4 a.m. to train, but last night I got a terrible night's sleep. I was tossing and turning and couldn't really fall asleep. So now I only have 4 hours of sleep instead of 7, and I still need to get up and train. These are too perfect, right? So in these examples, you're jeopardizing your true growth over what is perceived to be growth. So one bad meal is one bad meal. Call it what it is. Not a bad week, not a bad day. It was one choice. Sleep or social interactions might be more important than that training session or home-cooked meal. The goal is consistency. I have probably said that 1,000 times in these newsletters at this point. Perfectionism is not the goal, nor is it sustainable. So take it easy on yourself. Number 2, reframe setbacks as part of the journey. Setbacks aren't failures if you learn from them. Setbacks are failures if you let them crush you. Instead of seeing mistakes as a reason to quit, view them as data to learn from. When I broke my femur in 2023, dropped out of 2 marathons, and spent the next 12 weeks learning how to walk with crutches and then with my own 2 legs again, I thought this was failure. A true setback. After analyzing why this occurred, I recognized that I was too focused on training and not focused enough on what my body really needed, which was rest and recovery days. Not active rest, but real rest. So in 2024, when I began training for the New York City Marathon, I started my journey by taking Saturdays completely off from running or strength training. I allowed surf for some yoga, but not hot yoga. And as a result, I crossed the finish line feeling much stronger physically and actually PRing that marathon. So learn from your mistakes, analyze, and make the goal not to repeat it. Progress is not linear. Real success comes from adjusting and continuing after missteps. I learned this the hard way these past weeks, and I have been eating more and more food. I had a photo shoot coming up, and I decided it would be best to cut back on food and try to, quote, lean out more. As a result, I found some days I would go completely the other way. I ended up eating more than I typically would have. Something in my mind ended up creating this like yo-yo effect, and that's just unhealthy. Therefore, I would train even harder or longer and try to overcompensate. As a result, I was just left hungry and exhausted and partially filled with guilt. I learned that setting a goal to be consistent is better than perfect. Chasing perfect had me failing. Though, this gave me really great material for this newsletter. So continuing with that, we're going to talk about tip of the week, effective routines. To continue from the lessons learned, I decided to give some practical advice to create flexible and yet effective outcomes. Number 1, this something is better than nothing rule. If you can't do a full workout, do a shorter one. If you can't eat a perfect meal, make a balanced choice. My wife is not as intense as I am with fitness and nutrition. She seems to work out when she wants to and eats mostly healthy, but also loves her chocolate, but maintains her abs and doesn't really change weight no matter what. Fun fact, she didn't change her diet and trained and ran the LA Marathon and weighed the exact same as when she started training. So nothing's changed in her body, which blows my mind. Anyway, she does have this mindset that something is better than nothing. She went to the gym and the gym was closed for 2 weeks due to renovations. That's how I got the example from above. I typically would be confused now what to do because I'm very regimented. So she, though, decided to come home, change to her running shoes, and go for a 5K run. When I asked her why she did that, she said, I had the energy, so why not? If you're motivated, you can pivot and be flexible. Don't have time for a full workout? Go for a walk for 20 minutes. Don't want to cook tonight? Go to the grocery store and buy pre-made chicken and microwavable veggies and rice. There's alternatives to keep you in line. Number 2, focus on the 80-20 mindset. Focus on making good choices most of the time rather than aiming for perfection. I know my schedule during the week, so it is fairly easy to master my quote eating and training schedule for those days. But the weekends, they're all over the place. I have a full-time job, so the weekends are when I could see my friends, spend more time with my wife, and work on my social media and Substack. It's busy and it's a lot, but I enjoy the structure of the Monday through Friday. Therefore, I know I'll be out of the house and don't know when I'm coming back on the weekends. I know that I might be tempted to get the croissant from the cafe or eat at a restaurant, and that's okay. I'm not chasing perfection. I am focused on maintaining control when I can, which is Monday through Friday, and releasing that control to be a little bit more social during the weekend. Now, don't get me wrong. I love cooking and spending time cooking on the weekends, but sometimes I'm flat out exhausted and just don't feel like it. And number 3, daily minimums. Daily minimums. Set small, achievable habits to maintain a minimum. I have to move a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes a day. Ideally, that's like 2 hours of training, but realistically, it's an hour and a half, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. However, when I'm at the office, I go for walks. I take certain calls on the walks. I use headphones and take notes on my phone. Shout out to Microsoft OneNote for keeping it in sync between my computer and my phone. I also take these walks just to talk to my friends or actually call my mother, just to say hi, and that's it. I know I can make time for a 20-minute walk. Instead of spending 1 hour eating lunch, I spend 10 to 20 minutes eating and 20 minutes to walk. Set these minimums, i.e. walk for 20 minutes. Therefore, you are achieving something every day and can break through the mental block that you are not doing enough. In the next section, I show what I'm eating. Below are some pictures and macros of food I enjoyed cooking or eating from this past week. So the first one is my kind of go-to recently. It's ground beef or mince for you Aussies, blueberries, strawberries, avo, 2 eggs, and honey kind of just all over the thing. It's approximately 400 calories, 31 grams of protein, 20 grams of fat, and 17 grams of net carbs. The next is a sirloin steak cooked in beef tallow, my favorite, roasted carrots, and sautéed mushrooms. The approximate calories for this is only 350 grams, 37 grams of protein, 13 grams of fat, and 14 grams of net carbs. And lastly, we have chicken thighs, salad with baby carrots, sliced zucchini with olive oil, lemon, and sunflower seeds. Approximately 400 calories, protein 31, fats 24, and net carbs 16. Last section, how I am training. So the cardio's kind of been all over the place. I'm still trying to implement more cardio into the routine. I was trying to run. Now I'm kind of took 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So my knee's all screwed up from IT band syndrome. Back on the bike, back swimming. I'm trying to focus on that. However, lifting, I am getting crazy strong thanks to the Strength and Aesthetics program. So this past week's workout for the new Strength and Aesthetics program, total time about 60 to 65 minutes. My pre-workout was Transparent Labs the lean. I did it fasted with like a 3/4 of a scoop in that. I also take creatine before I work out. A lot of people say you should take it after. To me, it's just the habit that I'm in. I take it before. I take it with my pre-workout, put it all in the same shaker, and rip it. I put in a cardio day on this one, so I wanted to get fired up my heart rate. Did some warm-ups, 5 to 10 minutes. I noted what the warm-ups are, but then I got into the rower. So the rower was about 45 to 50 minutes. I did 10 sets of 500-meter row. My goal was to hit under 2 minutes for each 500-meter. Rest 1 minute in between sets for 10 sets. The first one was at 158 minutes, and I wanted to keep my cadence, my strokes per minute, at 20. So when you run, you want to have your cadence at high 170s, low 180s. When you're rowing, you want it to be in the 20 to 24 strokes per minute range. So if you go to the gym, you see people just ripping the rower for like 30 to 35 strokes per minute. Look at the little thing at the top right. That's not as effective as 20 to 24. That's the ideal range. So I increased my strokes per minute by 2 strokes every minute and then decreased it. So I went up to 24 and then went back down to 20. 500 meters at 158, then set 2, 157, set 3, 156, 155, 154, 153, and so on and so forth until we got down to 150. I was dying, absolutely dying. But I recovered 4 or 5 minutes after that, and then I did 3 times 1 minute rest in between rounds. It was my finisher. I did the ski erg for 10 cals, 12 wall balls, and 20 ball slams. Repeat that 3 times with 1 minute rest in between. Then I gradually cool down. And that is it for Mettle Memo number 24. See you at 25. Fortify your mind.